Hi, so you are building AI agent, maybe the research one, maybe the BDR, maybe the sales agent, or maybe the customer support. We always feel one thing, and that is what database should we use with our AI agent? And I know when you hear the word like SQL, NoSQL, vector databases, they feels like very complicated technical thing. But in this video, I will make it very simple for you to understand. And after watching this video, you will be able to understand what database you will be using with your AI agent. Now let's make it very simplified for you. So let's imagine that you are building an AI agent. Your agent needs to remember a few things: who you are, what you have done before, and what you exactly do, and what you mean even if you are not saying things clearly. So that memory has to be stored somewhere in the memory of AI agent, and that's where the database comes into the play, and we need to choose databases according to the data that we are saving into. So there are different type of databases I will be explaining in this video, and majorly there are three type of databases that we generally use with our agents. So let's start from the first one, the SQL databases. So consider SQL databases as highly organized spreadsheet or Excel sheet which has multiple rows and columns where you have stored the data in a very highly structured manner. Now let's say that you want to store data like phone number, email, customer support IDs, or complaints. Then you need a very structured data formats. There SQL database comes into play. So if you're building AI agents like customer support where it needs to save the data in a very highly organized manner with phone numbers, email, order ID, like that. So there we use SQL databases. So SQL is a very traditional databases where we store this data in a very structured format. Now for SQL databases, you can use databases like Postgres and MySQL. Now there comes NoSQL databases. So SQL databases is like Excel sheet. Then NoSQL databases is like a notebook. So where the data is not organized and it is a mix of both structured and unstructured formats. So let's say if you're building an agent that is giving you data like email, phone numbers with conversational data, chats, audio files, reports, or like that. So there the data is not structured or cannot be structured in Excel sheet. So this type of data is directly stored into NoSQL databases, which it fetch the data according to the query it is put out. Now it gives you the data by matching the context but not exact. So in SQL it gives the exact data for the query, but in NoSQL it gives you the data, the response for the query by matching the context of that data or the query. Now there comes the vector databases. So vector databases are slightly different from NoSQL and SQL. Now why they are different? So in the vector databases there is an AI that is involved to save the data. Now vector databases are something where what matters is not what you exactly said, but what matters is what is the meaning of your sentence that you carried. So if I give you a very layman example, the vector databases stores not the data but what meaning the data is carrying. So how the AI is used in vector databases? So whenever you put any data, it could be video format, it could be audio, text file, images, or any amount of data, all the data directly converts into vector embeddings or vectors. Now these vectors are in the numbers like 1, 0, 2, 2, 3, 4, like that. So these vectors are carrying the meaning of a particular sentence of a particular word. So anytime when you are building an agent that is dealing with large chunks of data and that is providing the query, so what this database do is that it understand the query, understand the meaning of the query. Now here the vector databases are different because they are carrying the meaning of your queries or your data. So if you're building agents like repurposing agent where you provide them a kind of a transcript and then you ask that, hey, create a LinkedIn post out of this transcript. Now the agent will store the data into the vector databases where the vector database understand the meaning of the transcript, and then using the meaning it will craft the LinkedIn post or Twitter post. So if you are using vector databases, you can use Pinecone, Viviet, or Quadrant. So these are one of the famous vector databases that you can use for your AI agent. Now let's catch a complete recap of what we have learned so far. So if you're using SQL databases like PostgreSQL, you are dealing with highly structured databases. So where you are dealing with a database like you are dealing with a structured Excel sheet or spreadsheet or Google Sheets. Now, NoSQL databases are something where you are dealing with a hybrid kind of thing where the database is not structured as well and but not highly unstructured as well. So there your agent needs query and it find out the contextual meaning of the query and then gives you the result. But what makes different is that vector databases, because here the database is stored into vector formats and this is powered by AI. So it gives you the meaning of your query, not the context but exact meaning that is carried by your query. So this is how the vector databases are totally different from both two. So anytime when you are dealing or with databases for your agents, you can take different approaches, like you can use hybrid approaches according to the database that you are dealing with for your AI agent. So this is for it today and I will see you in the next video. Comment what AI agent that you are building and what databases you are using for that agent. I will see you in the next video.